So basically it's a happy couple whose life is devastated. So it's quite pacey in the beginning, and then the man, whose life is absolutely shattered, starts to crumble and deteriorate and go into a dark place, which is a slow process. It's not an overnight thing. This is a slow process, and so I tried to get that into the story, the slow side of the man losing everything, mentally and everything, I mean financially and whatever, and then being saved by the most unlikely person, if you like, being saved. The only person that succeeds is a very unlikely character. I'm not saying any more than that because I want people to buy the book. Well, it's a married couple, really, and then the husband is the main character, because it's him who's the continuing part of the whole book. I mean, the story is in America. It starts in America and it ends up in England. But he's the common thread throughout the book, and it is about his life. I don't know. I didn't choose it. I just got an idea that came to my head that this would be something nice. Well, I don't know. Is it nice to write about someone's misfortune? But it was just an idea came into my head. You know, I don't know. I mean, you hear stories of artistic, musical people that sit in restaurants and suddenly have a brainwave and they write down the lyrics for a song on a serviette, and then they make millions. I compare it with that. I mean, I just had an idea. It just came to me, this idea of the story, and it didn't really. There is a really good twist in the story, which I'm not obviously going to say, which didn't come to me until I started writing, and then I realised what I was writing could be a really good twist, so I kept it a secret until the very last moment. But other than that, the story followed exactly where I thought it was going to go. This is, I think, probably one book where I knew exactly where I wanted to go. Yeah, I mean, a couple of books I've written. Well, it's it's a mood thing. If you're in a deep, dark place yourself, you're going to write deep, dark things. And I've written one book which is in a very dark place, and I don't think I could have written that unless I was in a dark place myself, because it's not my normal character, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the mood obviously influences. It's never finished. I never feel like I've finished a book, because I will keep going back to it and going through it and maybe changing a little bit here and there. So I never really have that feeling it's ended. I mean, if I'm lucky and a publisher jumps out of the woodwork and screams that they really want my books, then the book will be finished because a publisher's taken it. But while I've still got it, the manuscript, I can always go back to it and change it a little bit here and there if I want to. So I don't have that feeling it's finished. Because like I said, you know, when you write a book, you can really, if things are bad, you know, if you witness things in the world that are bad, you can come up with the solutions quite easily in a book. And it's a freedom of doing that I like. And I do have strong feelings of what's going on in the world, and I'm also not naive enough to know that, you know, as a one person you can't do anything about it. So this is my own way of expressing my feelings. Well, the sailing aspect. I mean, the whole thing is based on a couple sailing their boat, and they left England for some years, and they're travelling, and all the characters, because it's all based in America, and all the characters are people I met while I was in America. And then no, that's about what I can say really. I mean, all the characters in the book, somewhere in my life, have crossed my paths. I mean, I think every writer does that. You draw on, that's what I said earlier, you must always remember the people you meet, good or bad, because you meet them for a reason. My whole life, I've pushed life to the limits. That's why when you ask me about being proud, I can't sound proud of anything, because my whole life has been experimenting and pushing the boundaries, I suppose, until I went sailing. And then I felt truly that everything I did in my life was leading to that point of just travelling and sailing across oceans and getting myself in perspective, because we are minuscule, you know, compared with the rest of the world. I mean, the human being is a tiny part, it's a particle of dust in the universe. We're not important, and I think that's the problem. We think we are.